Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna. For those of you who are new here, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. In today's video, I'll be doing a flip through of ERIY's newest book, World Legends, Travels in the Land of Fairies and Magic. And if that is of interest to you, please stay tuned. Alright, I did purchase this from Amazon Japan. I was absolutely inspired by Jamie of Jamie's Coloring Love, and as soon as I saw it, I had to get it. ERIY is one of the few that I do want a complete collection, and with this I do. The only one that I am missing is her postcard one, but I'd like it, and if it ever shows up on regular Amazon or from ever on Amazon Japan, I'll certainly pick it up. But of the coloring books, I believe I have them all. So it does come with this little band. I will keep this. It does come with a dust jacket, but I don't know that I've ever looked at my other ones, but the image on the dust jacket does not match the image on the book. This is like a brown craft paper with that right there. These are both images in the book itself, so you can certainly color this. I never color the covers of my books, so yeah, that's not something you'll ever see, but I thought it was interesting because I always just assumed whatever you see here is what you see on the actual cover. This is all in Japanese. I'm hoping it stays in frame. It is on, as far as I can tell, regular paper. If you have ERIY's Romantic Country, then it's on that. It's a bit of an off-white. It does go into the story of what this means. I believe Crystal's Coloring has a flip through of this as well. She actually has two versions, just looking at the images, as well as a longer length video of what all of this stuff meant, so definitely go ahead and check that out if you're interested. Now, I did go in myself and just do some translation, not of the story of itself, because I didn't really need that, but just what the different pages were, because some of them are quite curious, and so it goes into that in the first couple of pages. In a few of ERIY's books, some of them are front-loaded like this. Some of them actually break up the different sections. This is all front-loaded, and so for the first few pages, you see all this. As you can see, I wrote down all the titles that I used with Google Translate. Some of them are a bit weird, but I think it's very interesting that it does go into sections. And so this is a World Legends book, so it starts with the legends of fairies and ghosts, goes into the legends of wizards and alchemists, then the legend of flowers and plants. It goes to the legend of stars and constellations, legends of mysterious creatures, legends of the gods, human legends, and then it goes into the cover illustrations. So it's really interesting the way that it's set up. And so on every single page, I've actually written down what Google Translate said this page was. So this one here is Fairy Ointment. This is Summer Night Dream. I'm pretty sure this is based on the Shakespeare Midsummer's Night Dream or something like that. This is Sea Foam Loan. This here is Fairy Cover Lanancy. Again, when I'm using Google Translate, I wasn't exactly sure what that meant, and I didn't read or translate the rest of what the story was, but it doesn't matter because the imagery on here is beautiful, and I'm just going to color it the way that I want to, but I did want to make sure that every single thing had the title on it, at least what I could find. Here is Drinking Fairy. I will need to break the spine. And I don't necessarily do that because I'm going to color all the way into the crease, but it does make turning, because it is a double-sided book and there's no duplicates, difficult the longer you go through it. But that was Drinking Fairy, like I said, very cute guy. This translated to Yuki Ona's Sai. I don't know what that means, but it's absolutely beautiful. I can see coloring this in shades of blue and white, coloring this in very vibrant colors like Mexican art or Portuguese art, or however you wanted to do this, but it's really pretty to me and very simple. This is Fairy Alley Ant, and this is Aunt Allie's Presents, and again, very cute images. I like how the images are a little distorted like you would see in a Rita Berman coloring book. I think that's really cute. This is Night Ghost Tour. Again, I'm not 100% sure, but this makes me think of England. This is Cute Ghost, so maybe not anywhere specific. Again, I didn't read what the little synopsis was, but this would be really cute for the Halloween time. And you guys know, if you saw my recent haul, that's the kind of coloring book or coloring images that I do prefer. Of these two images, I prefer this one, and mostly because this has more detail. Because of all of the big spaces, this just makes it not as interesting to color for me. But if I use something like Neocolor 2s or something like that, it might be easier. This is the beginning of Halloween. I like the little vignettes. You can certainly color that leading up to Halloween. This one's called Wahlburgers Night. I think this actually comes from Germany, if I'm not mistaken. Again, you've got sort of a strange altered perspective on the buildings, but it does make her flight look a lot more interesting. This is called Magic Practice because that's what she's doing. And I love that these little animals here are dancing. And again, it's a really beautiful composition. This one is called Familiar School. There's a bunch of cats on here because cats are typically known as a witch's familiar. This here was interesting. Now, I don't know what culture this is from, but this is called The Bridge Built by the Devil. So that's what this little character is right here. He's actually quite cute, so I'm not mad at the bridge or the devil, but yeah, I thought it was interesting. This is called Swan Tide, and this one does have a crown, so I don't know if this is based on the story. This one is Nicholas Flamel House. Now, if you guys have read or watched Harry Potter, then that name absolutely seems familiar, as well as this. This is the Philosopher Stone. I think I said that wrong. Philosopher Stone. But that's what this one translated to here. This is called Baba Yaga House. It's on HBO Max. I don't know where else it is. It might be streaming, but Studio Ghibli has Earwig, I think is the name of their animation. And I believe the main character in there, her name is Bella Yaga, is based on this character, Baba Yaga. And I think this is an Eastern European culture. Again, I didn't read the little synopsis, but this house is on some chicken legs. So there's that. This is Tulip Cradle. And so there's this fairy with this little baby right here. This one is Sakura of Kono Hanu Saku Yahime, and I want to say that's the type of house, although I'm not 100% sure. This is Lily of the Valley Cup. The key to the castle is primroses. Again, a very cute composition. This one is Daisy Flower Fortune Telling. This is a 2-page spread. It's one of a few 2-page spreads in here. And this is Meno and the Flower Fairies. And I believe Meno is the character from the original Romantic Country. And I want to say it's her, just based on the haircut. This one is called Campanula and the Dragon. And this is the buddy color that I'm doing with Anne of Pretty Pages 71. As you can see, I've already done the background. And this is called Flower Goddess Flora. This one here is actually 2 characters. She's called Blackberry Girl. This one looks like she's sleeping. This is a witch. I'm not sure what's going on, but it's a very interesting page. This one is called Under the Mistletoe. And I guess that's the mistletoe right there, because this cat's trying to sneak in a kiss. This one is called Iris Message, I believe in either Greek or Roman mythology, probably Greek. Iris messages or messages of the gods. This is 7 diamonds. Just based on her, I'm thinking she might be Nordic, so this has some significance, but I've never heard this story, but it's a very cute image. This is also another 2-page spread. I could certainly use this for my Year of the Tiger or coloring the Year of the Tiger hashtag, which is going on all of 2022. Yes, coloring a tiger absolutely would fit, but coloring anything zodiac or astrological would also count as well. This is based on the Western astrology, just because this has a Scorpio, Crab. Where's mine? Oh, and then the Leo. And this is another 2-page spread. This is called Xenu and Xenu. At least that's the translation. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but it's very beautiful. This is called Lady and the Unicorn. The unicorn actually looks a little bit more like a goat, but he has his horn, so I guess it counts. And this is called Gargoyle and Chess, but that absolutely is the Eiffel Tower. I'm not sure if there's a story about this, but it's really interesting looking. So this is definitely one I'd like to color in the future. Although, let's be honest, I'd like to color all of them. This one is Marrow and the Crab Barber. So this little crab here is cutting her hair. And then this is Marrow's dresser. I guess that's her name, which is Marrow. This is a page for Werewolf. This is probably one of the few ones. I'm sure it can be done beautifully, but I don't really necessarily gravitate because there's just so many big elements. And this one is Barcelos Rooster Garro. Again, I'm thinking either something Spanish, Portuguese, or maybe somewhere South American, just based on the style. But I think it's really interesting. And I just realized there's 2 roosters on here. Huh, interesting. There's this one, Waterside Votnik, and so he's just chilling. There's some fishes, very happy to see him, apparently. This one is Fashionable Pegasus because she is giving this guy a bit of a makeover. It's a very happy type of page. This one right here is probably from Japanese mythology, and it's called The Fox's Marriage. This one is Mountain Where Tengu Lives. Tengu? Again, I don't know what that means, but he has wings, so that must mean something. This is a picture of ancient Egypt. Very beautiful. This one is a picture of Atlantis. This is a 2-page spread of the 12 ancient Greek gods. You've got Zeus. I believe his wife was Hera. And I think this is the brother-sister, Artemis and her brother. I think the owl is with Athena. Dionysus? Yeah, so I don't know the names of all the Greek gods, but it's a very interesting page. Then you've got another 2-page spread. These are 4 Chinese gods. And you've got a snake and a turtle here. You've got a tiger here. You've got a peacock here and a dragon here. I don't know who they represent, but they are very pretty. You've got Rainbow over Iguazu Falls. This is in Brazil. This translated to Zashiki Warashi. I don't know what that means, but it's a very pretty page. This is the hero god Maui. If you've ever seen Moana, Maui is the main male character in that. In Hawaii, there is an island of Maui named after the Hawaiian god Maui, and so this is very representative of that with his magic fish hook. And then this one I thought was very interesting because this is the goddess Pele, the goddess of fire, and this is the goddess Poliahu, and she is the goddess of snow. Now on the island of Hawaii, the big island, the biggest island in the Hawaiian chain, you can actually find on the tops of Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa snow, but it also is the most active island, and so there is still lava coming out of tubes and whatnot. And so this is a meeting of the two. And I think it's such an interesting concept because I knew of Pele. If you live in Hawaii, of course you know of Pele, but I'd actually never heard of the goddess of snow, Poliahu. And so I just think this is a really interesting composition because when you have water and fire and snow, you do have quite a tumultuous greeting. So I don't think these two like each other, if this picture says anything. But this is probably one of the most interesting pictures in this coloring book to me personally. And then we get into some famous ladies. So this is Cleopatra. This is Hypatia. I think she's famous in Greek legend. Yeah, this is the Treasure Hall of Petra, and this is King Arthur's court. That's the sword right there. And then these last few pages are just a mixture of various elements from various pages. You've got that kind of chicken house right there. That was one of the dancing ones from the magic. You've got Maui's fish hook right there. This is actually this page right here. And it does have this. Again, I'm not sure exactly what this says, but these are more elements. And then it does finish with very cream colored postcards. None of these are the same. They do have little places where you can cut it, although it is not perforated. And it's just got little elements that kind of tie in with some of the pages in the front. And then again, this is the back cover, and I believe this is the Hall of Petra. And so that is a flip through with all of the names, or at least names by way of Google Translate. The difficulty with translating from either Japanese or Chinese is that in their language, in their written language, letters form other letters. So in English, you've got these 4 letters, and that means Erie. But you could have these 2 letters sitting next to each other, and they create a different sound. And then you've got that letter, and you've got that letter. So sometimes the translation is off because one letter doesn't mean one sound. You've got a combination of sounds to make a letter. And so depending on how you're combining your sounds, it can change. I don't know if you ever knew that, but that's why learning Japanese written language and Chinese written language is so difficult, because you are doing an alphabet based on sounds versus an alphabet based on symbols. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it makes sense to me. Anyway, guys, I'd love to know what you guys think of this. If you have this in your own arsenal. Again, Erie is someone I need to have all of her coloring books, and so I am glad to have this. And that's it for me for now. As always, aloha.